Hello my friends, so today I'm painting the engine covers from the right hand side of the bike and stripping down the replacement rear caliper and painting that too. I'll also be stripping down the rear end and removing the wheels for powder coat. Doing this revealed more damage and a further setback, which has added even more cost onto this project. All of this episode was filmed over several days during Christmas and New Year, making most of my time off. Anyway, onto the engine covers. I must confess I've cocked up a bit with these, which is a shame because they've come out really nice. Initially I didn't consider the heat and went for normal spray and primer and paint. It then occurred to me after priming the covers that they would need to be able to handle the heat. By this time I was committed and quite honestly couldn't be asked to strip them all down again, so I decided to just roll with it and paint over the primer with high temperature paint and satin lacquer. I'm guessing this probably won't stand the test of time, so I'll probably remove these when the weather improves. Painting in these temperatures is not ideal. I'm really not a fan of the gold colour on the covers, so I've not tried to paint match them. When I do them again in the warmer weather, I'll do the left hand side of the bike to match. On the plus side, I've learned a lot from this, and when I do them again I'm sure I can make them look even better. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can follow my progress with this restoration. Next up is the rear caliper. I stripped it all down as this was a used caliper from eBay and it was in a pretty sorry state. I've bought a caliper service kit which contains all the parts to restore it to its former glory once it's painted. Painting it was an absolute ball ache. I bought a Folia Tech caliper paint set. It's designed to be painted on with a brush and I'm sure it would be perfectly acceptable to use on a car without removing the calipers when they are hidden behind the wheels, but painting the primer on was really lumpy and looked a bloody mess. And as the rear caliper would clearly be on view, I wanted this to look as good as possible. I ended up sanding down the primer to get it as smooth as possible and then sprayed over it with a white automotive primer and then a colour coat and lacquer on the basis that calipers don't really get that hot, especially the rear one. This may well be another mistake, so it will likely need to be redone, but at least next time I will know to get a caliper spray kit instead of a paint kit. Some of the footage is black and white for now as I want to do a final colour reveal when the bike is done. When I removed the exhaust in the last video, I snapped a stud and one came out of its own accord with the nut stuck on it. I thought I might as well replace all the studs, so I bought a stud extractor. I got one out using the double nut method and then another one with the extractor, and then managed to make things worse by snapping a second one. At this point I figured I'm probably going to do more harm than good with the tools and skills available to me, so I decided it was safer to send the bike off to Andy at Wickford Superbikes so he could remove the studs and put new ones in for me.
Done that a few times. Alright, nice one. Lovely. Alright, I'll see you later, mate. Take it easy.
Andy picked it up on New Year's Day and had it back to me late that afternoon. His words to describe the job were a little colourful, but he got it done by drilling them out. It's clearly something I would have struggled to do on my own, so I made the right decision and I couldn't be happier with the result. I've put a link to Wickford Superbikes in the description. If you're based in Essex around the Wickford area, Andy is highly recommended. Most of the riders I know use him for servicing and help with their bikes. Thanks Andy. Now onto the rear end. I was hoping to fit everything up today and get the back end put together, and then when fitting the new caliper mount I noticed the notch on the frame that was holding it in place was completely out of kilter. Upon further investigation it looks like whatever killed the original caliper has bent the swing arm, and so this is a fairly major setback. In some ways I'm pleased because I wasn't going to bother restoring the paint on the swing arm, but seeing as I now have to replace it with an eBay part I might as well get it done. I was in two minds whether to wait for better weather or try and paint it now, and then decided that for not much more money than rattle cans I could probably get it powder coated, which is going to be way better than anything I can do. So that is now the plan of action. And finally, in this video, I removed the wheels and stripped them down so they can go off for refurb. The rear wheel has a slight dent in it which looks simple enough to repair, and they will be chemically stripped and powder coated gloss black. All the bearings will be replaced as part of the refurb, and I have a new sprocket to go on. I had to remove the existing bearings as well, but was in a bit of a hurry to get the wheels over to the restorers, so I didn't manage to catch it on camera. It was a bit of a bugger to get them out with only basic tools, but it's not too difficult when you know how. Anyway, that's it for this episode. In the next video, I'll be attempting to measure the valve clearances and adjust them if needed, which is a job I've been dreading.